Hey, are you looking for the very best LED lighting system in 2020 and 2021? Well, today I'm going to be laying out some components for what makes the best LED lighting system, and then at the end I'm going to be giving a recommendation for what I think is the most useful and effective lighting system this year. Hey, I'm Jacob from BizReps, and we're going to talk about that. So let's start by framing the categories that we're going to be using in order to determine what is the best lighting system for LED. So number one, we've got thoughtful design. Number two, we've got 21st century technology, and here I wrote, does it work for you? And we'll come back to that. Number three, we've got efficiency, and then at the bottom here, we've got solar in all caps because everybody knows that the world is moving towards renewable energy. So let's kick it off right away by starting to dive a little deeper into some of these categories and what they do for us. So, thoughtful design. What I mean by thoughtful design is, did the company that produces LED light slap it together on a factory line and send it out because it makes light? Or did they think about some of these things that are going to come up as we use them day in and day out? So number one, I wrote thermal management, and what I mean by that is, what is the system that they're using to deal with heat? Because as anybody who's dealt with LEDs or any lights before knows, heat kills light faster than anything else. So what are they doing to get rid of the heat produced by LED lights? For some it's fans, for some it's vents, and if you've been keeping up on this channel, you'll remember that we talked a little bit about why there are some deficiencies to those methods. The best one being thermal vias. And if you haven't watched my video about the tier 1 components and high quality lights, I highly recommend you go back and check it out because I go way deeper about what makes up a thoughtfully designed thermal management system. Number two, we've got shape of the lights. Is it using the max efficiency you can by shining only on the places you need it to shine? If it's a light bulb or a light tube, you're shining on your ceiling. Nobody's working on the ceiling. There's no need to do that and you're wasting energy. For number three, we've got general design. And what I mean by that is just, is the light ergonomic? Quite frankly, does it look nice? Is it a nice looking light? Are people going to come into your facility or your office, look up at your ceiling and be like, hey, that's a high quality light. This looks like a very nice establishment. Because some lights will do that and some lights will not. So don't let the cosmetics be a non-factor for you, because that truly is, when we're selling anything, when we're doing any business, having a nice looking facility should be important to you, and I'm sure it is. So as a LED consumer, you can decide if you get a nice looking light or a poor looking one, because some companies do it. So moving on, number two, and this is a big one, 21st century technology. Is your light working for you? Back in the day, we had a light switch on, a light switch off. That's it. If the light comes on when you flip it, it's working, and if it goes off, it's working. That's it. That's all you needed it to do. Now, we've got business innovations that provide all kinds of benefits for us through our lighting system. So, are you taking advantage of the business innovations that come along with LED lighting? Is your lighting system working for you? Is it on payroll? Is money going into your pocket because of your lights? If not, you need some new lights. So we've got smart lights. What I mean by that is, can you control them remotely? Do you need switches and breakers to control your lights? Because if so, you're living in the last century. Many lighting systems today that are relatively inexpensive can actually be controlled through Bluetooth and other kinds of innovations that allow them to be controlled in an efficient, effective, and simple way. You can have your lights working for you in that way. Zone controls. If you are a business owner that has a warehouse, or sometimes even in an office, zone controls can be effective, because what this means is you're going to have motion sensors or daylight sensors or some form of lighting control that's going to shut these lights off or dim them when nobody's working in that room. There was a large facility that our company was working for that had a zone of their warehouse, a very large 1 million square foot warehouse, and there was a zone of it that got visited twice a year. And as soon as they put in zone control, they saved all that money lighting that area, because as soon as the forklift drives into that area, flips right on like nothing happened. But the rest of the year, those lights can sit off, making you money, because you don't need to be paying to have those lights on, because you're just flipping on and off with the breakers. So zone control makes your lights work from you. Metering's a big one. Metering can qualify you for all kinds of government grants and programs, because if you're able to tangibly display the benefits of your lights, you qualify for various programs. And so if your lights aren't metering themselves, if they're not giving you information about what they're doing for you, then once again, you need new lights, because there's all kinds of systems that can help you show off what you're doing. And this is a great marketing piece too. If you say, hey, I saved 2 tons of carbon this year just from my lights, that's a fantastic marketing piece for free. It's actually saving you money. And then I've also got adjustable temperature here. And what I mean by that is Kelvin temperature. And a little more simply put, it's the color or hue of your light. And I did a video on this one as well, so I recommend that anybody goes back and watch that. That kind of dives into these. But what we're kind of learning from a business psychology standpoint is that when we have lights that can actually move shades or Kelvin temperature throughout the day, that provides more efficiency for our workforce, and it raises mood and productivity and efficiency and all kinds of benefits if we can actually adjust the temperature of our lights throughout the day. So these lights this can be one of your greatest assets. Your light can make you money. Your light can make the people that are working for you happier. There are so many benefits to having a smart light that's on your payroll. And if your lights aren't working for you, then let's get new lights. So number 3, I've got efficiency. And this kind of goes without saying, because when you're looking at putting in any new business asset, oftentimes the biggest factor is the dollars and cents. Is this going to save me money? Am I going to be able to afford this? And efficiency is a big factor in that, because if you are cutting down wattage and raising light so you get more light for less money, you're going to get that return on investment much faster. So is your lights that you're putting in going to bring you an ROI fast? So some LEDs have up to 120 lumens per watt, whereas a fluorescent is going to be closer to 60, so 40 or 60. So this will be 3 times or double what you're looking at with outdated lighting systems. And that's the ROI killer right there, because you're going to have double the light for half the money. That's going to cut that down. That's when your lights start paying you, is when they break even. And so with LEDs, that break even point can be quite fast, because you're going double or triple the savings just like that. Efficient design is a big one. This one can be the optical efficiency of the light, so how the lights are shaded, so if they have a efficient piece over them that directs the light where it needs to be, or even just the LEDs themselves. Some LEDs are very efficient while some are less efficient, and that depends on where you're getting the LED strips and drivers from. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that in future videos, but companies like Osram out of Europe are going to produce things much differently than factory direct lighting will. So high quality lights will just generally be more efficient because they're doing it better and they'll last longer. And then finally, does it qualify you for grants? So is your lighting going to qualify you? Is it going to cut you down by 50% to qualify for the 1098T deduction on your taxes? There are various factors that go into qualifying you for government grants. So it's a very good idea to keep the factors in the back of your mind as you're going in to buy lights, because some lights that don't have some of these 21st century things don't qualify for grants. Certain lights that don't have zone controls and metering will not qualify for various grants. And so that all pays into the efficiency of your lighting, because that's the ROI right there, is going to be how fast you can get your money back. And qualifying for grants can be a very big part of that. And then finally is solar. And this is a big one, because many companies see the lighting in the building and solar as 2 different things. And in the 21st century, innovations have come so far that that's no longer the case. Many lighting companies can also offer solar innovations that make a lot more sense than the outdated solar version that we've been talking about. And we're going to go deeper into the solar in future videos as well. But as you're looking for these lights, you need to be asking the question of, does this lighting company offer a renewable energy system that makes sense as I'm replacing some of these things? Because if you can seamlessly put together solar panels and the lights in your building at the same time, it's a one-stop shop. You don't have to stop anybody working to put these things in for more than one day, because you're doing LED and solar at the same time. And so if the company that's putting in lights doesn't have solar, maybe take a look around, because there may be a company that can do both in one shot. So now that we've kind of framed what we're looking for when we're going to be looking at a total package for LED lighting, I'm going to be giving you my recommendation as somebody who's been in the industry, as somebody who kind of knows their way around these things, of what is the most all-in-one best lighting company all around. And this is not to say this is the only company. This is just the example that I'm going to give for a company that does it all. For a company that's got an A to Z solar, LED, all these things cut out. They're USA based, which is a large factor if you care for customer service, because you can actually reach these people. And the company that I'm going to be sort of recommending today is called Energy Bank. And you can do your own research on this company. They're called Energy Bank. They're based out of Wisconsin, and they've got every single one of these things nailed. I love putting Energy Bank lighting into the facilities that I get to go to, because I take pride in the business assets that I provide for the customers around me. And so Energy Bank Lighting, it's Energy Bank, just the two words together. I highly recommend taking a look at them because they're innovating all kinds of LED and solar, just new technology and everything along those lines. And so if you would like to set up an appointment with me to talk about energy lighting or otherwise, there's descriptions in the bio on Facebook or in YouTube. They'll be on there too. And I would love to just take 30 minutes and talk to you about what's going to be the best fit for your facility. Thanks for watching today, everybody.